Hello, beautiful collective. If this is finding you, I trust that it's finding you at the perfect time. My name is Farrah. I appreciate you joining me here today. I just want to let you know that there is no such thing as coincidence, so maybe this whole reading or a portion of this reading will resonate for you. Always use your own discernment, okay? So, my initial pull was the Queen of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. So, I heard growing pains. I'm not sure if there's something in your life that you need to use your discernment about, possibly balancing two things at once right now. This could be two jobs. This could be two different people that need your attention. Maybe two spheres of your life that you feel like you're trying to keep up with, and it's almost like it's becoming too much. Okay, and or you have two opinions about one thing. Okay, take what resonates. Like I said, the Four of Pentacles at the bottom of my deck is making me feel like this is where the growing pains come in. This is you holding on so tightly to the old way of doing things, or your old thought systems or beliefs about this specific individual or about this job or situation. It's like you don't want to let go of something that once gave you comfort and once gave you stability. But I do see you cutting through the BS, if you would, really, with the Queen of Swords. I do see you seeking some sort of clarity or using your words as your superpower. Okay, like there really is something about you speaking your truth in some which way. And the Five of Wands. So this may be conflict or competition with other people around you, or possibly some sort of competitive energy, even within your field of work or within your living space. There's just a lot of building blocks I'm feeling that need to come together, and it's almost like you're playing this never-ending game of balance. You're playing this never-ending game of finding your footing in something. And it's almost like all these pieces need to move together to make this perfect puzzle. I'm almost seeing that. I'm actually seeing a globe for some reason spinning, but it's as it's spinning, all the continents are pushing outward and they're separating from each other. But your intentions to spin it are to bring everything together, like some sort of Pangea thing. I don't know. But Spirit is really showing me that the more effort that you're giving to this situation, or the more tightly that you're holding on to this sense of balance, it's creating some sort of backlash, or it's creating some sort of separation. Okay, so this may be some sort of spiritual growing pains, like I said, that you're experiencing. But I do feel like ultimately, with you showing up as the Queen of Swords, you can handle this. Potentially feeling like other people don't really understand your logic, or other people may call you rather selfish for whatever it is you're trying to do, whatever sort of situation you're dealing with. It's like other people can't see what's going on the inside, only you can. So they just see what's on the surface. They just see that side of you that is just trying to hold it all together. Hold on, one of my cards fell. We have the High Priestess. Okay, she has been coming out in a lot of my channels, and I do feel like this is talking about the intuition that you have accumulated over this, spiritual journey that you've been on. It's allowed you to see that your efforts can be expanded. Your efforts can be put in multiple areas at once. Like you've done the multifaceted, I'm hearing like you've done the impossible in some which way. Like you've dealt with multiple things at once. Like a multitasker. Okay, I can't find the word I'm trying to say. But there is something about you now needing to get really clear, really needing to trust your intuition, that you can handle whatever's coming next, regardless of what other people have to say. I do feel like there is this level of judgment for some reason, or competition in whatever you're doing, and it's painful. I feel like it's painful. I think this is the first time I'm ever really seeing the Two of Pentacles as someone who's really struggling in pain to keep things together, okay? But the Empress just popped out of my lap. So yeah, you're really going to be receiving. You're really going to be given the opportunity to not be the doer for once, I think. To not be the one to kind of keep the peace, to hold the pieces together, to not create that wholeness, that oneness of all the continents coming together. It's almost like you're letting things fall where they may, because it's almost like it's becoming, like I said, just way too much for you. It's really becoming way too much for you. And the Ace of Swords, yeah, more clarity, more thoughts, more ideas, more of this getting clear, okay, trusting the intuition. High Priestess, a lot of Piscean sort of energy here today. So you could have 12th house placements like myself, or you could be someone who I think does a lot of things on your own in solitude. You may feel like you are doing some sort of past life work all the time. Like your spiritual gifts may be always tapped on. Like there may never be a shut off switch, I'm hearing, for your intuitive gifts. And that may be why you constantly are juggling, or you constantly are balancing things, because it's like, you know that you could be doing multiple things at once. You're constantly getting downloads. It's almost like this Five of Wands is you and your multiple personalities, or you and your multiple ideas. I'm not diagnosing you. This is for entertainment purposes only. I can't speak English, but I just feel like this is you and your multiple ways of seeing things fighting. There's competition for what do I tackle most? What is going to be what really sets me off into this Empress position? Okay. And that's probably the answers that you're seeking. For some of you, you could literally be a mother trying to take care of multiple children at once, and they have a lot of ailments, or they have a lot of issues with like attention span. Like you may have children who have neurological, situations going on, or you yourself could deal with stuff like that, like knowing that there is something about you that is not neurotypical. Okay. And I think that is actually your superpower. That's probably why you're extremely intelligent and highly intuitive. Okay. Once again, this High Priestess is really wanting to take center stage for me for some reason, like more so than the Empress. And the Empress is a divine feminine, but we oftentimes forget that the High Priestess comes right before, okay, the Empress in the tarot, the 2 and the 3. So there really is something about you cultivating your feminine energy, that receptive, that mother-like nurturing energy from your intuition today. For others of you, this could, like I said, simply be clashing with multiple ideas, or not knowing what to tackle first. But you're still moving forward, and that's where the growing pains are coming in. Maybe having to release old ways of thinking, old ways of doing things and seeing things. King of Pentacles. Okay, so you're definitely going to find your footing. I think that this is where you mostly reside, in the masculine. And that's why you're having such a hard time tapping into this feminine energy. There are no genders, okay, in the tarot. They're just energies. And there's no genders for, each individual. I think mostly we all have feminine and masculine qualities, energies within our bodies. And you're trying to find this balance and this peace. That's really what this is. I think you're trying to find the sweet spot. I think for a long time, you've been the doer. You've been the provider. The bottom of the deck is a 7 of Pentacles. You've been working really hard. And I think in some situations in your life, even when it comes to like healing yourself, you're wondering, is the juice worth the squeeze here? Okay. Are the seeds that I've planted in the past, were they really worth my time? It's almost like this come to Jesus moment where you're like, has all the efforts I've put forth really got me anywhere? And I think the answer is yes, absolutely. I mean, King of Pentacles, Empress, High Priestess, yeah, absolutely. And Queen of Swords too. There's definitely something very profound about the work that you've done, okay? Even if it doesn't seem like it. Even if you don't feel like the work that you're doing in this world is necessarily important enough, which I think is just a societal, construct. But I really feel like you're going to make some sort of headway. You're going to get an answer soon. You're going to find the answer to this never-ending question of, how am I going to find my footing? How am I going to find my balance? How am I going to find that peace? Okay. Third party card just popped out. We do have another 3 coming out, but I don't necessarily feel like this is you and 2 people. For some of you, it may be. Obviously, use your own discernment. Okay, being in between two individuals, needing to choose. Possibly you are this King of Pentacles, okay, who needs to choose either this Queen of Swords or the Empress. Okay, or these could all be flip-flopped. These energies could all be flip-flopped. But I do feel like, once again, this is you balancing multiple things. This is you and 2 opposing thoughts. This is you and 2 different ideas that sort of like negate each other. And it's like you've been trying to possibly live 2 lives at one time, and it's not working anymore. You can no longer be the peacekeeper between the 2 veils. You can't hold up one personality and live a different lifestyle, okay? Like there's something about no longer being able to hold up an alter ego or an altered identity for the sake of other people. For some, this could even be trying to make a spouse like accept you, I'm hearing, or trying to really keep the peace between a specific relationship in your life that you just feel like they're not giving much effort. Hold on, another card just fell. Guarded. Okay, they may not be as open to answers or solutions as you are. And I think it's kind of closed you off from your intuition. And that's when you sort of spiral out of control, is because you guard the high priestess within you. You guard that part of yourself. And it says past trauma and building up walls on this. So this really could relate to the way that you were raised. But there's something about you just turning off or guarding your heart, and it's not allowing you to figure out the soulful answer. It's not allowing you to be in your divine feminine, because you're really just trying to protect yourself. Like there is something about conflict with other people here, needing to rely on yourself always. And Spirit is saying you can no longer be the one who is holding everything up or playing that game of the Five of Wands. We have new boo and reminiscing in reverse, okay? But I do feel like this is definitely relating to the past, potentially trying to figure out how to appreciate yourself, or find a new relationship, or find a new way of doing things with the new boo. I feel like you are your own new boo if this isn't about relationships. Like the new soul-aligned version of yourself, okay? And with the reminiscing card, like I said, this does relate to the past in so much, right? This is definitely a past programming that you are overcoming. But I just feel like there's going to be an end to the mental gymnastics, because you're going to be turning off that guarded part of yourself. We have Vine. It says seek out information that will help you, gaining clarity, gaining some form of answers. If you are doing research at this time, I think if you need a solution to a specific problem, this is confirmation that that's coming in. And with good luck, this may actually be something that you hear in passing, or someone has said something to you that's really started you down this path of growing, of changing, of shifting, of trying to control things. It's almost like maybe the words that people have spoken to you sit and they replay in your head nonstop. Like I almost see this Five of Wands as like loud noises in the back of your head, okay? And Tiger, it says doing something risky and taking a chance. And I think that's where the growing pains really come in, is from you doing something differently. Like I said, you may have been someone who's always been there to keep the peace, but now it's like you can't sit in this guarded and closed off energy anymore. You can't, I'm losing my card. You can't be here closing off your heart. Okay? You must take the risk to, I think, release the past in some which way, and to step forward and know that you can't be doing everything all at once. Okay, you're not a robot. You are a human being. And I think oftentimes we forget, because society pushes this go, go, go grind mentality on all of us, that we can't function and do everything all at one time. Like sometimes it's literally just, I need to just wake up and simply feed myself and nurture myself today. And that's sometimes the best thing you could do for yourself, because it's that cliche, you can't pour from an empty cup sort of thing. And that's really what I think you're learning after all this balancing, after all of this competition, or like I said, doing multiple things at one time, trying to be the juggler, trying to make everything fit. You're letting that go. You're learning that you could still use your discernment. You could still do one thing at a time and make progress, make headway. And I think that this process of letting things go is rather painful for you. Hold on, my card's flying across the room. We have a fiery climax approaches. Yeah, so really some form of conflict, or some major events, I think, going to take place very soon. I feel like for this collective, whenever time you're seeing this is a timeless message, but I feel like within this week, there is going to be a situation or a moment in time where you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much I've changed. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I could release this, or this is the moment where I had to act differently. And we have show the world the real you. This is so aligned. Full moon in Aquarius and a full moon in Aries. So culmination points, okay? there now soon, I think on the 2nd of October, we are having a full moon in Aries, or there is a lunation in Aries coming up from an eclipse that we had back last year. And there's a culmination point coming up for you. So that may really be relevant for this collective, but I do feel like there's something about showing your true colors, something about sort of having this pop-off moment, or having this moment of no longer being able to keep the peace, no longer being able to, like I said, balance these two things. It's just unsustainable for you. Okay, but the King of Pentacles is making me feel like you're finding solid ground, but ultimately you're going to be stepping into this divine feminine energy here with this Empress card. Okay, I'm sorry I could never speak English. That's what you'll learn about me. But also, too, at the bottom of my deck, we did have Admire. Okay, so whatever this is, other people are watching you do this. Other people are watching how far you've come. And I think there's a lot of admiration coming in. And I think whatever it is that you have worked on in the past with the Seven of Pentacles, it really is going to pay off for you. I do feel that. So don't be discouraged. I think that the growing pains are appropriate because you're learning how to receive now. You're learning how to release control. And like I said, this fiery climax is going to be you making a decision or a choice to not do something, or to choose the different path, or to make a different choice than what you normally would be doing, or what you normally would have done in the past. But ultimately, I think that you're healing through past lifetimes, past trauma, something like that with the Guarded card, okay? And it looks extremely promising for you, so I would keep your head high, and I would know that whatever is on its way to you is meant to happen. You are always in the right place at the right time, okay? The choices and decisions that you've made are not something to be insecure about. They're not something to be ashamed of. Any choices, even when you were younger, okay, with the inner child that you've made, there's not something to be ashamed of, okay? That I feel like I just had to say that to somebody out there, that you cannot be everybody's mom. You cannot be everybody's dad. You cannot be anybody else's savior but yourself. But I feel like this is where I'm going to leave it. I feel like there's a level of authenticity that you are cultivating. And it looks like it's really going to pay off for you. So I'd keep your head high, all right? Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.